Howdy, folks, and welcome back to this special extended edition of the weekly comic book snap. And we're here to chat with Ricardo Mo, the supremely talented creator of the fabulous... Supremely fabulous, the superlatives that we can't find enough of them. Colossi. Here it is. So we're going to chat to Ricardo about this. We're going to give him a damn good grilling, a Frog Hood grilling, and get right deep into this.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Feeling good about this?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Good.
So Colossi, tell us all about it. Give us a pitch.
Okay, Colossi is it's the story of a bus full of strangers that disappears into a wormhole and reappears in a world 12 times bigger. It's this group of strangers who are thrown together, wouldn't normally choose to be around each other, and now they're having to work together to save their lives and possibly try and find a way home. Against giant animals, giant feet, all sorts of horrors.
What inspired it?
Without doubt, yeah, I wear my influences on my sleeve. It's the sci-fi TV of the 60s. These are the things that I grew up watching. Reruns, I might add. I grew up watching The Invaders, Land of the Giants, Lost in Space, and it's all of those things and more.
Films as well, because I got a very much a 60s, 70s sci-fi film kind of thing, but that might be just because I watched more.
Yeah, like I say, everything's gone into a melting pot and come out, and I've attempted to make it its own thing, and hopefully people get that, read it, and see that it does its own thing. Certainly as it progresses. But yeah, like I say, where my influences on my sleeve, won't hide it. It's
and
it's
how much influence did you have on the character design?
The characters, the artist Alberto Muro and I have we worked together on a series called Propeller, which is available on Comixology. Unfortunately, not printed yet. We worked together on that.
You're allowed to read.
So we worked together on that. So I knew how talented he is. He's just a fantastic artist, and he adds something to character design when he's left to his own devices that you won't get if you try to steer him too much. So I had the idea of this bus full of strangers, and I'd spoken to Alberto. He was on board, happy to put a pitch together, and I just said to him, "Can you design everyone who's on there? You tell me who's on the bus.
Okay.
You draw them. If you have a couple of lines about who they are, their history, you tell me, and that's going to be our cast, and I will tell the story using them." And honestly, I think it helped that it made it more interesting for me. It was almost like the appeal of playing with someone else's characters in someone else's sandbox, and I get to put my own stamp on them. So almost a warm up for Marvel DC in some ways.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Hint.
There's no. It gives the feeling of kind of a retro sci-fi, and that has got to come across from the palette that's used, I think.
Yeah.
But also the way the characters are dressed, even though there's no kind of timestamp on them, on any of them. You know, you've got people in suits, you've got the bus driver who probably looks almost futuristic in what she's wearing, but then it also screams of futuristic from a 60s setting.
That's it. What we were aiming for was the future that was imagined in the 60s. So
nailed it.
Yeah, and again, that's mostly Alberto.
So we should have him here, really.
You really should. You made a horrible mistake. Yeah, he lives in Spain, so expensive to get over. I am the cheaper option.
Absolutely.
And,
But with Skype, anything's possible.
thanks.
Thanks very much. I'm messing about. I'm only messing
Well, I
about.
think that helps a lot. But you are into this is it a new world or is it just a believable world within 2 pages? I would say of issue 1. And I think that is a real piece of alchemy almost, that you've taken us into this world where we believe that people can go on a bus that just disappears into a wormhole that wasn't there a second ago. It's really fast-paced book.
Yes.
Um,
And I've had criticisms of that it's too fast-paced. Personally, I like a first issue to get going. I like to know within the first few pages where we are, who the characters are, and by the end of the issue, I want to know the obstacles that they're facing and have some idea of where the rest of the series is going. I don't want to come across as criticising anyone else too much, but there have been some number 1s recently that don't do anything. They just... No, I'm not naming them.
Come on.
I'm not naming them. Nice try. But yeah, I think a number 1 needs to do more than just advertise the upcoming number 2. I think something needs to happen in it, and that's certainly what we went for. We crammed as much into that issue 1 as we could.
Well, I mean, I'm lucky enough to have read all 4 issues, and I think the pace just keeps on throughout them all, and it really reads really well. I think each issue stands alone, but luckily you'd sent us through the PDF of issue 4. So I read issue 3 as a hard copy in my hand, and then ran straight to the computer because I needed to know more. So it's almost like you're playing with people. For those poor people who have to wait another week or so for issue 4.
Yeah, that's monthly comics. You grab people at the end.
It is,
and
but it's worked perfectly, I think.
You've got to try and get people coming back a month later. They've got to remember you. So yeah.
I think that says something about a strong narrative through line, though, doesn't it? That's where you're looking to take readers on that journey. So they're, like you say, they're wanting to come back for number 4, and
absolutely,
they're invested in the story and leave them with something to a little cliffhanger or whatnot.
Yeah.
Which is what issue 4 ends in. So what happens in 5?
Honestly, issue 5 and beyond are dependent on the sales of the trade, most likely. So please come buy the trade.
Get yourself out and buy them.
Buy the trade.
So you don't want to tell us what's going to happen in issue 5?
I'm reluctant to. No, what can I say?
Especially looking for the scoop.
If it gets to happen, and I really genuinely hope it gets to happen, because we're not done with this story. We have more to tell. We have more characters to introduce. What we're going to explore the larger world that they're in more. So far, issues 1 to 4 all take place within the town of Tolerance. We're going outside that.
Is Tolerance a real town?
I hope not, because it doesn't end well for the people of Tolerance without giving too much away. And I would hate for anyone to think that I deliberately chose their town and then
So you
do
haven't
awful
done
things to it.
you haven't
No,
Googled
it's,
to see if Tolerance is a town in
There must be somewhere called
Maybe I
Tolerance
should
somewhere.
have. I suspect. Yeah, it's one of those the small Midwest American town where they have those interesting names, Tolerance and Intrigue, and I'm going to use that.
in the next
those kind of
book.
things.
Generate
Absolutely.
ideas.
It's an intrigue.
And yeah, they're I'm not always subtle. So the fact that it's called Tolerance, there are themes of tolerance in the book as well.
And would you say that either of the worlds that we've seen so far are our world? Or are you
I
opening
can
up
tell you
two new
that-
worlds?
I can tell you that we have not seen our world, and will probably not.
Until the everybody pops up in Frogboss in issue 13.
Yeah. Yeah, it's certainly. It seems to be heading that way.
I thought there were some really kind of strong female characters in this.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, was that something that you did on purpose, or did that just come out, or?
I think when you have a bus full of people, when you have a whole cast, you're going to want to make it a mix of various different types of people, and you need to be interested in each of those characters. You need to write them, each one as if they're the star, and there needs to be something about them that makes you want to write more.
Something compelling about each character, yeah.
Hopefully, I will be the last person to dismiss lady characters and have them in the background. I very much, I thought they should go front and centre.
Yeah.
And the pilot in particular, she's the pilot, and so by default she's the leader.
Yeah.
And you it's a situation where you need your leader to be strong, to be driven, and she's the one who's going to get them out of it if anyone does.
That's why I thought like the design and the character married up so well, because there was this strong female character, and then she's looking like, you know, the strong ladies that you see in the sort of 70s exploitation films or whatnot. I just thought it was a perfect marriage of design and character and you know what you've written. And
again, that's I guess that's more of Alberto and I being on the same wavelength.
Right.
And we both knew the pilot was going to be the leader, but then it was Alberto who designed that look.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So do you guys talk about influences beforehand? Do you talk about what your interests are, what his interests are, and does he have a feeling for what you're into and what you're thinking, or?
So like I say, Alberto and I worked together on Propeller, and that was, I believe in paying artists, but I couldn't afford to pay him much, and I couldn't afford to pay him often. So we were making Propeller kind of 4 or 5 pages a month for a long time. I mean, it's a 4-issue miniseries, so we were working together for a long time. And over that time, you chat with your co-creator. We chatted about Propeller. We chatted about other things. We chatted about stories that we might like to do in the future.
Right.
And I think whether it's Colossi or Propeller, you look at the things that Alberto does, and you can tell that he has this interest in retro things. He has an interest in the past, and and also I would say in making that past current.
Okay.
So so much of the credit belongs to him. It really does.
Come on, dude.
You're thinking about Skype again, aren't you?
Fire up the computer special.
Are you working with him again on the next book that you've got coming out?
I have another book coming out from Vault, starting in September, called Juice of Hearts. That's with another artist, Tony Gregory.
Juice or juice?
Deuce. Like two.
Yeah.
As in what, the deuce?
And that, yeah.
It's no deuce.
So if you want to build a career as a writer, and I do, you can't really work with the same person all the time, unless of course you're Brubaker and Phillips, which I'm not.
Not yet,
but also, I mean, it's nice to write for different artists. It's nice to because my writing changes accordingly. obviously you don't just produce a script and hand over to whichever artist says yes. You build a relationship, you make sure the artist's on board, and then the scripts are produced, and the story as well. The story is kind of thrashed out between the two of you.
So what can you tell us about the next book?
About Deuce of Hearts.
Yeah.
It is. It's the story of Sullivan, who is he's a ladies' man. He's also a man's man. He's a Lothario, and for every person he makes fall in love with him, he then can take that love, take their heart essentially, and trade in online for upgrades. So he can run faster, he can jump higher, he can be more charming, and he seduces the wrong person. He seduces the wife of a mob boss, and it all starts to go wrong.
No happy ending for Sullivan.
That would be telling. They said there's no happy beginning for Sullivan. It gets pretty rough. I don't want to give away too much.
No,
You're trying to
don't.
trick me into spoilers.
Special's picking away at you. So he's trying to get you
Crying and
to
crying.
give away some detail.
Told you, it packed me.
I'm feeling that.
How much of I think I was reading like Propeller, and I saw some of the like the artwork in there, and you were talking about it having quite a Hitchcockian kind of feel,
Yeah.
and a film noir kind of feel, and this, like you said, has a real. Ooh, sorry, knocked that over there. Sorry. Oops. This has like like I said. I mean, I think it's got a real kind of late '60s, early '70s TV. Almost cult cinema feel to it as well. Colossi has. Like, how much does film influence you, and how much are you kind of a film fan, and do you weave that in somehow, or?
I'm a big film fan.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, I wear my influences on my sleeve, and I love Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? But I love Hitchcock. I've watched a fair bit of Hitchcock.
What's your favourite Hitch?
I really like Dial M for Murder.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good man.
Okay, good.
No, I like Dial M. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, good.
It's good movie.
I mean, there's Rear Window. Yeah, the classics. The classics that
Yeah.
everyone likes.
Anything with
But,
Jimmy Stewart, and
I
I
love Jimmy
just
Stewart.
throw my money at you.
I love Jimmy Stewart in anything as
Yeah, exactly.
well.
What about comic books influences?
Less so, if I'm honest. I read a lot of creator-owned comics. I'm reading more comics now than I ever did growing up.
Okay.
I wasn't your classic comic collector. As a child, I never set foot into a comics shop. I'm sorry.
Mind you, you're probably younger than me, but there weren't that many around.
They really weren't.
Lucky to have one around.
I distinctly support your local comic shops. Yeah, absolutely. I distinctly remember my dad used to get Batman, and he used to collect it, and he used to bring it home, once a month, and I loved it. That was the highlight of my month.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And from there, I started finding the trades of Batman stories. Things like the Killing Joke, and even the Nightfall. Yeah. Nightfall, Night's End, all of that lot.
So have you got a Batman story up your sleeve when DC come a knocking?
I wish I did. I don't.
I've got one. I'll tell you about it later.
I think part of the thing with Batman, my Batman is the blue and grey, the guy who's skiing downhill away from guys with laser guns. That's
Retro
the world's
kind
greatest
of,
detective.
yeah.
That's my Batman, and Batman now is not that.
It's
Not
got
that there's-
darker, isn't he?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Batman now, and loads of people love it, and it's still, the best-selling comic or something.
But you and Adam West lover.
It has got dark. Yeah. Oh, let's not talk about Adam West because that'll set me off. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, I loved watching that show,
Yeah.
and the comics that I was reading at the time were complementary to that in a way.
Mm.
They weren't the polar opposite, which
Yeah,
is what
yeah,
you've
yeah.
got now.
yeah.
But they do. I mean, the comics you've got now tie into the films that are being released now, and it's all darker and it's all.
It's not just that though, but things evolve, don't they? So maybe Batman is crying out for a little bit of a lighter, more detective work. If anybody's watching,
Yeah,
from,
if anybody wants him to go back to being the
You
world's
see-
greatest
you
detective,
see that
I'm
some in
on
the
it.
66
And a little bit
like
camp.
series, though, don't you? You're a bit of the old school Batman in the 66.
you
Batman
do, and
series.
I don't think it's. I mean, it is dark, but I think it's. They're trying to lighten it up a little bit from the Miller stuff, which is really when it. I mean, everybody knows he came in and revolutionised and took
Yeah,
it back
yeah.
to being to its heart from those first detective comic books, I suppose.
Mm.
But maybe there is room for a lighter Bat book.
Of course
on
there
the
is.
shelf. There's always room for
There's
another
always
Bat book.
room.
I definitely. I have an Elseworlds, I guess, Aquaman.
Yeah,
Yeah, if anyone's listening. And
MoMA.
across the other side, I would love to do an Ant-Man Giant Man, Hank Pym.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not Doctor
I would-
Strange.
No, I would love to get my hands on Hank Pym. You know, in a writerly
Well,
fashion.
You don't need one hand though, would you? You don't need one hand.
He's just
Depends what
he's-
size he is at any particular moment.
he's so reviled. He's just everyone hates him, and every time someone comes along and it looks like they might do something else, they just give you another reason to hate him. And I think he needs a break from that.
Yeah?
I'd love to do something where he's redeems himself. He needs to be redeemed.
I'm down with it. I'd read it.
Read it?
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Let's get Marvel on the blower.
No, they should
Got him
call
on
us.
speed dial, haven't you? Special.
Yeah, of course.
Good stuff. So when did you decide to like transition? If you weren't a big kind of comic book fan, you weren't a big collector or whatnot as a kid. And you said you made some kind of shorts, I guess,
Yeah.
when you were younger. Like, when was the transition? How did you?
I've always had that creative itch to scratch.
Right.
So watched a lot of films and TV when I was younger. Made some films. Wrote some TV scripts and film scripts and things.
What were the films about?
They were not good.
Have you always been more married to the written word than the visual?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I did a script for a horror movie that was about a little girl ghost who had multiple personality disorder.
Wow.
So it was manifesting as different ghosts. It may well have been done since, but I wrote this a long, long time ago, and it was original then.
I think multiple personality disorder is not tackled enough.
Not a laughing matter either.
I'm not intending to make a joke.
That
I think it's an interesting thing. Like, I think it's, could be tackled more. Saw it a little bit in True Detective at the end.
I've not seen True Detective.
Haven't you? Oh,
No.
get on it, man.
No.
First series.
I
Stone
never
Cold
did either.
classic.
It's another thing.
I tried to watch the first episode with my wife. And,
Right. How'd that go?
Not well.
No.
No, she's not tolerant of slow starts.
Hence your
Yeah,
comic
of
book
course.
writing.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah, fly into things. Get her on board.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, that's my tip anyway. Get involved in a bit of True Detective. Yeah.
And get involved in Colossi, I think.
Please do.
Yeah. So this is released by Vault Comics, isn't it?
It is. Yep.
Where can the good folks at home find this?
It's available in all good comic shops.
All good comic shops.
In particular, right here. But yeah, it's available through Diamond. So if you aren't lucky enough to have a local shop that does stock it, then insist that they get it in for you.
Cool
That's,
beans.
that's my advice.
And when's the release date of the trade?
The trade is out on September the 6th.
September the 6th.
Let's hedge our bets and say September.
Okay. Definitely going to be worth picking up, I would say.
Thank you very much.
I highly recommend it. I think it's a great read.
And
Thoroughly
a big
enjoyable.
cliffhanger at the end, which means that they're going to have to make more.
Mm.
Or they're going to get a strong-worded email from these fingers.
Yep. Start writing your emails now.
Get your pretty fingers on it, especially.
All right.
What I want to know is, what would you say to any like aspiring comic book writers out there? What's your advice?
For comic book writers, my advice is
Write films.
find an artist. Find a talented artist. Pay them, and then ride their coattails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. If you think the number of pitches that the editors are having to look through, the number of pitches that publishers receive every day,
Yeah.
the thing that stands out isn't going to be your writing initially, because that involves reading the pages.
Yeah.
The thing that's going to grab them is art. And
Right.
if you're lucky enough to find someone like Alberto or Tony, those pages are going to get looked at, and then hopefully they're going to get read, and then that's where your writing can shine through.
And is it? I mean, what's your kind of ethic in terms of writing? Do you have any words of wisdom? Is it just do, or are you a bit of contemplation time, or?
I think everybody should get on and write something.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse now not to put things out there, whether it's Comixology or whether you do a small print run and go to conventions and sell it yourself. Don't just write pitches. Don't just send your stuff to the big publishers. Get things out there. Get people reading it, and the more you write, the better your scripts will get, because it's practice.
It's like any craft, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah. That being said, I'm not one of these write everyday people.
Okay.
I can't do it. I feel like
is that laziness? Or
it
is
is. It actually is. Yeah. No. I have a family and a day job. Which, if you are going to be a writer as well, get a day job. Write in your spare time, because you're going to need money to pay for those pages.
And the house.
And the house and the kids.
And the
if
food.
you are fortunate enough to have those things, then, and I am.
And the comics.
Then, and the comic, because if you're going to write comics, read comics.
Damn, the expenses are racking up.
Yeah.
But it's just get some stuff together, find a good artist, collaborate, do your hours.
Write when you can. Don't be pressured by anyone into writing every day. That's ridiculous.
Right.
When I've tried to write every day, it's just trash that comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm forcing
There's
myself.
something to
I'm
say
not in the
about
mood,
writing every day, even if it's trash, get it out. Discipline.
That is the theory.
The old Stephen
But you
King
don't
method,
stand
isn't
by
it?
However, does it ever stop being trash though? Just by writing more, does it eventually become good?
One man's trash is
Or,
another man's, silk.
Does
that work?
Yeah.
Sure that works.
Sure. I'm always thinking about the stories, and I'm always thinking about the narrative. That I do every day.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But
that's what I said about the
actually-
contemplation.
It's more about that. But actually sitting down and just typing just for the sake of getting pages done.
Yeah.
It may work for some. If it works for some, then more power to you. But it doesn't work for me. It won't work for everyone.
Yeah. You got to find your own
Yeah, exactly.
thing, I guess.
March to the beat of your own drum.
Hey, nice. Like it. Good stuff. And do you write like each panel? Are you quite dictatorial on what's going into each panel, what you want to happen, or is it a loose?
Dictatorial makes it sound bad, but
I didn't.
I haven't tried Marvel style.
Right.
I'm a little bit scared to try Marvel style.
Yeah.
I think for me, part of the job as a writer is to write every panel.
Right.
If you write full script and you hand it over and the artist doesn't want to do what you've written, then they're free to go off and do their own thing.
Well, everyone needs room for expression, I guess, don't they?
Exactly, and you'll find there are artists who will just completely throw the script out and do something 100 times better, and that's great. But I know there are also artists who like that guidance.
Right.
Who don't want to, when they sit down to draw, they don't want to spend the first few hours having to work out
Right. Okay.
panels and layouts and things.
Yeah.
They want to know this is a 3-panel page.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for it.
Oh, cool. And how did you get in touch with Alberto? Where did you guys hook up?
I went searching for an artist on DeviantArt,
Oh, wow.
which
Okay.
this was many years ago.
Yeah.
It got scarier since, so
Yeah.
I don't look there for artists anymore. I'm
Right.
sure there are plenty of good artists who do hang out on DeviantArt.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's got a bit dark for you, has it?
a little bit, yeah. Yeah.
You need
anyway,
to know more.
moving swiftly on.
Okay.
No, yeah, no, and then Tony, the artist for Juice of Hearts. I met him through Twitter.
Oh, okay.
I think if you can get onto social media, start to follow like-minded people, start to follow artists.
You direct message them, or you?
If they have an email address, I think it's always a bit more professional to approach
Yeah.
via an email.
Right. Okay.
And it gives you a chance to express yourself. If you're sending a long direct message to someone that you've not really interacted with before, that's a bit of
Bit of a
in my
no-no.
book, bit of a no-no. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Other people may love it,
Yeah.
but
You're on Twitter, I take it.
I am on Twitter.
What's the old Twitter address? The old,
So
handle?
it's at Ricardo Mo Tron, TRON.
Lovely.
Give them a follow.
Absolutely.
Please
Get on board. Yeah.
much appreciated.
No.
That is the place where I show peaks at artwork. Not so much talk about process, but occasionally mention things that are coming out, mention what I'm working on. that kind of
Right,
thing.
right,
Try
right.
to keep it not too heavy. But,
Try and keep the politics out of it.
when I can, some politics are just too
Just
important to
seeps in,
ignore.
doesn't it? Yeah. You can't let everything go, can you?
Yeah. But you also don't have to comment on everything.
No. Absolutely right.
Before we go down that wormhole,
Yeah,
we
let's,
will say thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
No, thanks for
No,
coming.
It's been
thank
an
you.
absolute honour and a pleasure.
And when the next book comes out, we'll do it all again.
I would love to. That'd
Yeah.
be fantastic. Yeah.
Superb.
Thank you.
Super
Awesome.
duper.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Okay, so there we are, guys. Ricardo Mo. Go out and get yourself Colossi. There it is. And it's a fantastic read and it's special.
It's
Loved it.
amazing, and it leaves you wanting more right up to the end, and I really want more, so you're going to have to do some just for me, even if...
Private commissioning.
Exactly, yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Okay,
Thanks very much.
great
Thank
stuff. Take care, guys.